If I can. Hi, y'all. Hi, Esmeralda. Hi, Terry. Hi, Gloria. All right. So, the special that I was going to do tonight is $10 life path kind of thing. It's something that I do once in a while for in private readings, and what I do is I use the Work Your Light Oracle and get a message from every suit to kind of give you an overall general kind of energy. All right, so good. Gloria is going to be first, and Gloria will show you how it's going to look. So if anybody else wants that, the reason why is Esmeralda, you can have whatever you want for $1, but I mean I'll do something else for you. This will be. I'll just show you though. This one, the reason why it's $10 is just a little bit more time consuming than some other readings, except I'm long-winded, so sometimes everything is is time consuming. But anyway, this is I got the idea today with somebody's private reading that I was doing. I was like, oh, this would be really perfect. So in the Work Your Light, yes, in the Work Your Light Oracle, we have 5 categories. Well, the 5th one it are the star seeds, like the celestial beings, the people that you might be connected to in a celestial sense, okay? And we don't always have to use that one. The 4th category is called the activation. So it's kind of how something is going to manifest into your life. And yes, I'm giving it away, but there's all those. I wrote the numbers underneath just to make it easier for myself. Okay, we'll put that back into pile. And that's pile. Okay, so, pile, pile 4. Let's get all the pile 4s out. Isn't it beautiful? I love Danielle Noel's art, and I have also have 2 of her decks as well, and they're just gorgeous. And anybody that wants to have a reading with Danielle's deck, the deck that I used today for today's Daily Dust was the Panda Tarot, which I thought was really fun. But you know what? I might just do a Danielle Noel night. And Rebecca Campbell is usually the one who she works with. Oh yeah, this goes 4. And then the first group of cards is an inquiry. So let's say if somebody out there, we can do a dollar inquiry if you want. We can do dollar any category you want if you want to do it that way. But anyway, the inquiry is like a yes no, and then there's a couple of them that go a little bit past a yes or no answer. Okay, so that is number 1. Number 2 is called is inquiry. Actually, number 1 is yes or no. Number 2 is inquiry. Number 2 represents the question that you need to ask yourself, not that you're asking spirit. Spirit is saying, what do you need to ask yourself? And then number 3 is the action. What do you need to do for yourself? And number 4 is, like I said, the activation, how it's going to come about. And number 5 is celestial beings that will help you. Okay. And I sometimes I don't always do number 5 because not everybody resonates with the starseed energy, but that one, Okay. How is everybody? Hi, Jolene. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Gloria, and Terry's on the list. Number 2 for Terry. Thank you very much. And Rainbow, thank you very much. Okay. And anybody want like any variation of this, like if you want to ask a one suit question, like a, you know, pick a topic. Yeah. Who had a hard time? Oh, Jolene's having a hard time sleeping. Yeah, me too, Terry. I had a hard time sleeping as well when I was pregnant, I think. It's hard to get a good position when you get a certain size. And also, it's a full moon and a lunar eclipse. So tonight, hey, this is my, you know, that's another thing that I should do tonight. I'm gonna go get my Moonology, and the second special of the night. So the big special is the $10 Life Path, and then the second special is the $2 Moonology. And I will, if you don't, you know what, Esmeralda, you don't have to pay me anything, and you can get, I'll give you a Moonology reading for free. Free Moonology readings. Okay. Because you already are a member. Maybe I'll just do membership Moonology readings. We'll do that. Members Moonology. Members get Moonology. Okay. Let me go get the Moonology. And also, if anybody wants it, I'm going to get out the Danielle Noel's other decks. Here's the other one. Of the other ones she has is the Starseed, and I'll get her really, really beautiful decks that she has. What did I do with that one? It's like my theme is developing as I start. So we have the Star Child Tarot and the Moon Child Tarot. So the Moon Child is good for tonight since we're dealing with the moon stuff. All right, I'm gonna go, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get Moonology. Ow. All right. So here is Moonology. And so we're going to do, anybody who wants it can get a free Moonology reading if you remember, and I have it switched to members only tonight. So, but anybody who wants it can get this $10 Life Path reading as well. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so first of all, Gloria. Oh, it's nice. Yeah, that comes out a lot in that deck. Like, sing lullabies to me and read to me. And when you talk to your baby, that's a great thing to do. I used to talk to Sierra. I'm like, of all the people that I talked to, Sierra was the one that I talked to most. I think I'm like all my kids. I should all the people, all my kids. I had a lot of mental telepathy with Sierra too. Like, I could feel her feelings and her thoughts and stuff. And I still do to this day. My daughter and I have a special bond. Alrighty. Okay, so Gloria, let's go ahead and think of a yes or no question And we'll start off with yes or no to your question. If you have a yes or no question. If you don't, then we can skip this part. Yeah, humming, and like some kind of tonality. Whistle while you work. Or playing music. Will I get pregnant this year? Okay, for Gloria. Yes or no, will she get pregnant this year? Oh, here we go. It says no. But this is for this year, okay? So wait, postpone, pause, say no. It's not saying, this one's really good, a good one, because this is saying no, not now, but maybe yes later. So yes, you're being called to either pause or say no. Saying yes to something that is in alignment with you will drain your energy and your time. So hold out for a congruent, aligned 100% yes. Often, when we're looking for guidance to make a decision, it can be frustrating not to move into a clear and considered action. However, timing is everything, and not receiving clear guidance is actually guidance in itself. And we all go through times known as waiting periods, and these times are crucial for our body to regenerate. So I guess the point is your body is going through some regeneration, and it's not going to be this year, but it still could be next year. So these times, and the universe is ready to begin things on your behalf. You don't need to be plowing forward all the time to move forward. A potent, congruent yes, when the time is right, will put you ahead leaps and bounds. Don't force things now just because it seems like the only option. Take a breather and wait. The waiting is actually very productive, for when the time for movement comes, you will be ready to dive right in. Use this time to regenerate and to ponder what you truly want. Consider the options. If the options aren't clear, don't fear, because this time period is a gift. Use it to tend to your garden, take a rest, to take a moment from your busy life to clear the decks and prepare for the time in the future. For come spring, clarity will bloom, and yes, you will have the reserves, the space, and the drive to say yes and act and move quickly. So to me, this is like saying not by the end of the year, but maybe spring. Okay. So now let's see. Let's see what else. We're gonna see, what question do you need to be asking yourself? Okay. I've been seeing storks a lot. It could be close, I mean, just because it's not getting pregnant this year doesn't mean that it's close. Spring is still pretty close. You could be getting like, certain, you could be dreaming about your baby. You could be having certain, like, your body's starting to get used to the idea. Your mind is starting to get, your psyche is starting to get used to the idea. Yep, and next year is only 2 months away, so it's not like much of a waiting period, right? It's kind of crazy to think about it. Well, what do you need to be asking yourself? What does Spirit want you to... There we go. Boundaries. Okay, that kind of matches, right? Where do you need to establish better boundaries in your life? So that's your question for yourself. Think about, what kind of boundaries that you need. What's going on in your life that sometimes you give in too quickly, or you don't say no when people want to, when people are trying to ask for your energies, and you need to reserve your energies, right? You're being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This could be with your friends, family, or work. Saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment, which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first, it might only be a little bit and not feel like a big deal, but before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you're left feeling depleted, sometimes resentful even. So, or like just the feeling of being taken advantage of. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries. For when they say yes, they are able to give unconditionally. So when your boundaries are clear, others know where they stand and you are able to give freely. And if you're not clear where your boundaries lie, this causes confusion and resentment and energetic cords to be planted. I feel like in my case, I have a boundaries issue, I admit it. But in my case too, sometimes it's not just the boundary, but it's being able to communicate my boundaries. So things those two things could go hand in hand. I don't know if you might have those, feel like that's an issue with you too sometimes. But even if you're fine with the boundaries, maybe you're not always, maybe you need some help communicating your boundaries. Or maybe you're great in both places. Who knows? But there's always a place where you have to kind of, yeah. And I remember you talking about that. And there's always this place, and so in your case, it's with work, right? It's like your time is valuable just as much as anybody else's, right? Your I hate that. I mean, I shouldn't say the word hate, but it really bugs me when people have that attitude like, I'm in such a hurry and I have this and this. I'm like, we all have busy lives, so why am I catering to your time schedule? We all need to work together because we all have busy lives and we all have our agendas. We all have goals and plans and ideas of how we want to do our day. I think my problem is, so when a person has a typical 9 to 5 job, and then they come home and they don't do anything else and they make the house a mess. But when I have a job that it's a stay-at-home job, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm like working pretty much all day long at this job, to make sure, just it's a and just because I have a lot of flexibility and just because I love my job so much doesn't make it any less of something that I take seriously, and it's a responsibility of mine, and I see it that way. And people would like to sometimes ask me to do this and that and the other thing because I'm at home and they think I've got all this time on my hands, which maybe I do, but my time is my time. Shouldn't it be my time should be my time, and your time is managed the way you want to manage it, right? And I feel like that could, things like that. So if you any of you who are like entrepreneurs, you can run into that trouble sometimes. Or if you work with groups of people and different people think that they their time, like they have that attitude that their time is worth so much more. Oh, you're ready for maternity leave. You know what? It's funny because one job that I had, Space Center Houston, I was like, I am ready to get out of this place. And I got pregnant. I was like, I'm ready for maternity leave, and I'm never coming back again to this job. And I didn't. I didn't go back. Once I had Sierra, I stayed home for a little while, and then I found a different job, but I did not want to go back there. Anyways, so. So sometimes, spirit gives you an out, even if you can't find your way out on your own. But definitely, spirit is wanting you to ask, what are your boundaries, Um, so don't say yes if you really mean no. Just think about that much at least. Check with, it's funny you're talking about pregnancy, but when you want to gauge what your boundaries feel like, check with your belly. Your belly is like your second brain. It has an intelligence known as your gut feelings. tune into that space when deciding if it's okay for you and how does it feel and why is it trying to communicate? What is it trying to communicate? You know, that gut feeling. Okay, that was a good one. All right, next we're going to ask, what do you need to do? These are your actions. I could sit home while honey is working. I know, I love that. I wanted to be able to do that, but you know, the time that I stayed home with Sierra while her dad worked was kind of hard because he treated me differently when I was a stay-home mom than when I was a productive person on the workforce or whatever. Like people will treat you different and it really is annoying. But yeah. So I had some I I stuck to my guns though. It's like it made me sick to my stomach to even think about working. I just wanted to be with my little girl. That's all I wanted, to be with my kids at home. And so I ended up finding a job that helped me at least get to to the point where I could be with them most of the day. That's why I became a bus driver. So when I became a bus driver, I only had to miss them a little bit of the day. And then I had weekends off and all summer off with them. So that was good. Yeah. So here we have inner temple. What is this action that you need to do? It looks like some inner work, you know, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. This could be, you know, meditation and things like that. But look how beautiful that card is. So, inner temple. Let's get into the inner temple for what this will have to do with what you need to do, like your actions towards your life path, okay? It could be very well related to having children one day. But before that, I think your spirit wants you to prepare your mind, your body, your spirit, your whole temple. Your body is your temple, and before you have kids, or you know, before you start that whole journey of stay home mom, and have babies and things like that, it's you need to do this kind of like a preparation phase here. So you're being called to be a devoted student and tune into your heart, your gut feelings, and your heart chakra to incorporate true devotion. And that could be what you need to do is do some chakra alignment. Since we're talking, you know, throwing out words like gut and heart, you know. So you could be called to develop meditation, right? Journaling, chanting, showing showing up to your soul rhythm. Develop a daily practice where you feel you're filled up with your soul, you know, like, and all of those, you know, answers to all the questions that you're waiting for are in that portal of your heart, and you could seek them, but you can't hear them unless you carve out time each day to listen. So your soul is yearning for a deeper relationship with you. And so the more time you spend with it and show up to it, the more clearly it will guide you. We're here to grow as souls. Earth is one big playground for the soul to learn, and you're being called to go deeper in your soul growth or to increase your devotion by being a student of a lineage or a spiritual teacher, even. So, if you have already been committed student somehow, then you're being commended for your devotion. And your guides want you to know how proud of you they are and that the time you spend in devotion is priceless. And if you're questioning your career or your life path, and see, that's what I do. I go life path reading. Your guides want you to turn your focus towards devotion and say this prayer. You ready? Please use me in a way that delights my mind, body, and soul. May my life be one big moving prayer. There we go. Yeah. Me too. I loved being home with my kids. I'll tell you that. Any of that time that I was able to be with them, that was happy time. For sure. Okay, I think that was a PayPal. All right, and now last we have the protection, no, the activation. So what is going to help you get to this point where you can align your heart, body, mind, and soul, prepare that vessel for new life next year in the spring, and your new life path, which could be being a stay-at-home mom or whatever. But I think right now, that prayer is going to get like guide you to that point, to what's next. It does feel like something new is coming for you, though. Like the same old is not going to stay very long in your plane. Oh, okay. Ooh, the Great Gathering. So you have it's all coming together, intuitive hits and soul tribe. So much of what you're learning, what you do with us here is definitely a prayer, you know. So this is really good for you. I mean, and you need more of this kind of thing where you're with your kindreds, you're maybe find try to maybe you and I, maybe this is a way for me to launch something too, where we can have like kindred chats where we're not just talking about, I'm not doing just readings, but we can just have nights where we don't do readings, where we just talk, and express ourselves, so I just feel like that might be something that you need these you need this kind of energy more in your life. You don't need the negative Nellies that you've been dealing with at work, that's for sure. You need this good, creative, happy energy around you. So your intuition is coming through, and your intuition is going to guide you physically. Right now, you're connected to a group of souls, and I call them sparkles of light, who are weaving a web around the planet. And as you travel and share your creation, something is rethreaded. This card is an acknowledgement that you're either being called to connect with others who are like you at a soul level, or that you already are connected with these, because you are. You're being called to gather groups of people either by leading them or becoming part of a group that can support you in your soul's personal mission. Maybe you can do something just like I'm doing, but maybe in a different level, like a support group kind of thing, spiritual support groups. You're being part of a group of souls who agreed to be here at this time in history to heal yourself, your ancestral line, and the planet, to raise consciousness so that we can continue to call this magnificent place home for eras to come, and one of many consciously choosing to devote your life to something greater than yourself. It's time to call your tribe by sharing your soul's voice and letting yourself be seen. And when you share what is real and true to you, you share the medicine you most need. And that is how you connect to those who are like you, and they will gather closer to you. You are your tribe, and they are just like you. And just as long as, and they're also longing and searching and seeking just like you are. So, like, all of us can do this together, you know? So, here's another thing that you can say. This is another prayer. Say to yourself, I choose now to let myself be seen. I am ready to call in my soul tribe and create a web of light all over the planet. Ooh, nice. See, your soul path, your life path has to do with connecting with like-minded people. Sometimes spirit throws us people we don't like in our lives to make us realize, like, it makes us uncomfortable. It's like, is this situation making you uncomfortable enough that you want to leave it? Well, that could be why spirit's giving you this uncomfortable situations, so to help you leave it, you know, so you don't stay with people that make you uncomfortable, unhappy, so you go find people that make you feel happy, that are like-minded. All right. Ooh, good. All right, let's see if any of the aliens want to talk to you. One more thing, unless you don't want the aliens. They're not aliens, starseeds. Pardon me, starseeds. Let's see, any starseed message? We'll flip it a couple more times. If nothing flips out, then we'll just skip this part. Doesn't necessarily, it's not the most important part of it. Sometimes it can be, like sometimes if you really resonate with the starseed stuff like I do, and you get a validation from the Palladians, like what I think I am, then it makes me feel like, yes, okay, I got the Palladians on my side. But that's fine. There you go. I feel like you have a lot of cosmic energy, but you're very grounded too. Everything about you is going to be about this planet in particular, and shining your light to help make this place a better place that we live in. So that's part of your going to be your soul path, your life path. Finding those kindreds, more of us, leading something, and make, but before any of this thing can happen, you have to do some, like, a lot of inner work, establish good inner and outer boundaries, do some meditation, connect mind, body, heart, align those chakras, get your body ready, that temple ready for birthing your, for housing the babies in your life. But yeah, just because that phase of your life might be very physical and material whenever you have children, it also can be a very spiritual experience as well. All right. So I'm gonna put all these suits back now. I love going outdoors. I love connecting with nature. See? That will be the one then. It's Mama Gaia that's gonna be your main happy place. The happy place. Go to the happy place. Okay. All right, so Terry. So now you got an idea how that life path reading works. That's really nice. So Terry, do you have, you're welcome, sweetheart. Do you have a yes/no question that you want to ask the yes/no cards, or we can skip that? That's up to you. My yes or no question will be, my grief journal be successful? Will Terry's grief journal be successful? Interesting. You didn't tell me about that. Will Terry's grief journal be successful? I would like the past life reading. Sure. Terry's grief journal. Ooh. Well, I know which one. Come on, Spirit, spit it out. All right, I'm gonna just lay it out like this and choose. Yes. Just say yes. Okay. And this one gets really, really deep. I'm being sarcastic, and you'll see why. Because yes. It's a yes, 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 yes. Don't overthink it. Just say yes. Yes. Okay? It's gonna be so successful. You don't even know what success was until you did this. Yes. All right. So what then? I know, right? Spirit's like, should we tell him? Should we tell him? So now what should be the question that you really ask yourself? What's the question you ask yourself? This one? I was like, what? Okay, let me see what this was. Mirror. Who's triggering you? Okay. Somebody triggering you? Grief journal. Triggers. Maybe. This could help. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is some chapter that you can add into your grief journal, or something that that you address. Maybe you do address this, the triggers. It's interesting because I kind of had an aha moment today about triggers and things like that. And I can't remember now what it was, but I just it you know what really helped me was I stumbled upon this lady's near death experience thing, and something really profoundly that she discovered when she had her experience made me think real hard, made me think, really outside the box, and like just really see myself in situations, and it just helps. It just really helps when you get perspective like that, right? So yes, add that as a page. All right. So let's see what your mirror message is. I mean, what does this mean when you get triggered? What is this about? We all get triggered, right? We all have egos, and that's why. And it's just and the thing about the ego, it's like that's part of being human. So there's nothing to be ashamed about it. We can feel certainly we feel bad when we um, react badly about something, but there's always all kinds of ways to fix that, to forgive and forget, and to ask for forgiveness, and to grant your own forgiveness, because we are human. And then there's ways to help ourselves before we even get triggered by being observant, right? Seeing ourselves, watching ourselves. So I guess that's where the mirror comes in, because one is the you, and the other is like your spiritual self, observing the you without judgment, without criticism. It's just observation. Observation doesn't mean somebody's judging you. We're so used to judges, right? We everything we watch has every show. We just love to watch the shows where people are judged, because it just I don't know, it's something about it. Um but life, it doesn't have to be, we don't have to be judge ourselves or judge others. We can let go of that, right? So the filter of our own experience is how we experience life 90% of the time, through our own projections. That's the other thing. Yeah, that's what I realized, is like this is completely how I'm perceiving it, and this person that I'm thinking is wanting me to feel a certain way may not even have any clue at all that this is how I've been feeling, because I'm not saying anything about it, like if you're not going to say how you feel, then you can't expect a person just to already know, and and know that you perceived it a certain way, right? Sometimes people do purposely manipulate, but they don't always know if they hit the mark either, like if you got a good poker face. Anyway, that doesn't make any sense, but a little sense, but not. Anyway, let me continue. So, when someone reminds us of an unhealed experience, we get triggered. So often it's an unconscious thing. People and situations can trigger our mirrors to reflect back to us what we believe to be true about life, the universe, and ourselves. So that's all it is. A trigger is just reflecting yourself. So if somebody triggers you, it's almost like a truth that you didn't want to absorb yet, that you're not ready to know about yourself, not ready yet to figure out. And then you kind of block it, or you kind of resist it or something like that. You kind of get angry at it. And that's why people who are in twin flame relationships often have so much trouble, because our twin flames mirror us, and sometimes in ways we don't want to be mirrored, you know? So mirrors pointing to our shadow will point to our shadow and the light. And mirrors reveal the parts of us that are yet to be accepted and witnessed and loved. And so this is just helping you to look closely at those experiences that are triggering in you, and then what is being mirrored back to you, and when have you felt like this before, and here's an opportunity to help you heal something. So what I did once, okay, this is like, you can don't always aren't always able to do it in the moment when you're getting triggered. Sometimes you just can't stop it, right? You can't stop your reaction. But let's say 4 days later, you look back in that moment and you think, okay, why was I triggered in that, and then that in that situation? And okay, so there was something where somebody didn't believe, or didn't take what I said seriously, or something like that, or didn't believe what I said, or and so it triggered a memory of when I was a kid, and I uh I was often like brushed off, things that I say, like, oh yeah, whatever, like that kind of thing. So if you get enough of that in your life, then you're like, eventually you just don't want to hear that again. You work really hard to make sure people believe you, and listen to you, and think of you as telling, being serious, and not blowing you off. Another thing that I realized was about like, why do we sometimes play the victim? I um it certainly we get hurt, and bad things happen, and it depends, the level of how we feel sorry for ourselves. It just varies. Like, I mean, we have every right to feel bad when something bad happens, right? But let's say, for example, I stubbed my toe, and I'm like, I, I tell somebody I stubbed my toe, and they're like, "Oh, poor baby," and they give me a hug. Well, that is a positive reinforcement to feeling sorry for myself, right? And I think that's something that's one of the things that we get ingrained since we're little. It's like, being a victim in something does, even though the action of being if stubbing your toe hurts, the aftermath of somebody giving you a hug or whatever, because of the pain you felt, is actually a positive. So it's kind of this weird thing that we've grown up with, at least me, and I know a lot of you probably resonate. So like, these kinds of little psychological things play in my head a lot. And maybe that's part of, since you're writing a book and it has to do with grief and all of those things, this is great. Like a whole, you Spirit is saying you're completely on the right path to it, and really like do a deep dive to shadow and light, the mirror parts of us. It's a very twin energy here, so very Gemini. Yeah. So it goes both ways, right? The good things and the bad things. The good is like those that you admire put you on, and put on a pedestal. Um, what if we, what we might not even realize that we're putting them on a pedestal because we actually are like them. Did you ever wonder that? You know, like the people that are the like talented people out there, the people that you admire, the people that are beautiful or intelligent or whatever, sometimes you know, it's because you are like them. It's like you do see yourself, the good things in of yourself in another person as well. And so there, and then the thing that, like, if we get mad at or we think somebody's bad or has bad qualities or did something bad, there could be a little nugget of a part of what they do that you didn't realize you were doing too, like, you know. So just be aware. That's another thing. It's like being aware of why we judge people or situations, because it brings up something, a story in us or something. So yeah, that's a very deep inquiry. But I think your whole life path is going to be about questions. You know, it's going to be like, why this, why this, why this, why this, why this, why, you know. All right, so the next one is action. What are you going to do? Okay. Well, I feel like the action, maybe it's a given. One of your primary actions here will be to keep writing and keep asking questions and be observant. Okay? And you also have a soul tribe here. Call your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So there's going to be a lot of people who can help you, maybe with their experiences. Maybe there'll be something where you're like, um what's the phrase I'm looking for, like first-hand accounts, uh or story, like when you write, for example, Mary Jane, one day she did blah blah blah, and then this blah 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 happened to her. So that could be a part of your story, your book, or whatever. It could be like some personal experiences people have had to certain topics that you talk about, something like that, you know. But also, I feel like the thing, and look at how we got like this twinning thing going on here again. You're definitely twins. Is going to be as important. The twin flame story could pop up too. A lot of things like that. But I feel like this one is definitely very true. Also, share your voice. Come out of the cave. Persecution expression. So a little bit of both of those. And you are, oh, and Gloria is a Gemini. Yes. So maybe ask Gloria for some personal experiences and do that. Yeah, I just feel like, let's see. So the soul family is, it's just about calling in your tribe, finding those like-minded, um, the same kind of weird that you are, and it's like sometimes here you go again, like the good people, well, you like them because they're like you, and so that's okay. Like attract like, and so keep calling those people in, because they're going to be your team. And it's so funny because your team can consist of your therapist, your coach, your mentor, your healer, and that could be you too, like you're part of somebody else's team because you have those abilities. So, but what you need to do most of all is share your voice. And so what you're doing, and with that journal, with your book, is sharing your voice, and that is definitely a thumbs up from Spirit. Spirit is calling you to share your voice by speaking up in a relationship or through writing, speaking, singing, or some other form of creative expression. There you go. Ding, 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 ding. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, I can't get any more 100%. You got yes like a gazillion times. There's now you got the mirror chapter in your book, and the action that you're taking is writing, expressing. So yeah, the voice of your soul is like no other, and it carries with it wisdom that can only be gained through soul history growth by remembering, tapping into, and expressing this unique tone. Now that it's not, we use it to heal ourselves, but we're also healing the planet at large through this message that you're sending. So when you share your voice, you unlock something in the universe and you call a missing piece of you home. And your individual voice is the most powerful sound right now on this planet. And you've kept your soul's voice silenced or secret, right? You've been keeping it close to yourself. But now it's like time to get louder and chant or sing or express. And a little by little you'll show more of your personality and start letting other like-minded people come through to be part of this. So you two are going to be kind of, I feel like you also maybe not leading a group, necessarily a particular group, but you're going to be sharing stories with other people and really connecting. And there you go. There's never been a more better time in history than right now to rise up, speak your truth, and share your soul's voice. And if you feel fearful, know that you're not alone and that the world needs your unique tone in order to harmonize. And as we rise up and share our song, we make it easier for the next person to do the same. Whoa, that's a good one. Okay. So now let's see who's helping you. How is this going to be activated? It is good reading. I like how it validates what you asked about. Yeah. Sometimes I even feel it, like I feel lifted. It is serious. Ooh, the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits Soul Tribe. Again, we have the Soul Tribe energy here. So you are gathering like-minded people through your writings, through your expressing yourself. You're going to help other people feel brave to do the same thing, and other people to connect with, you know, their grief, and also their triggers and the things that they've gone through in their life, and it's part of their healing process as well. So it's definitely all coming together. That's how you're going to make a difference, The activation is how you make a difference. And you're making a difference through the gathering, through the people. Let me see what the Great Gathering. There it is. So It's all about your intuition, and it's helping you to move you physically. You're connected to a group of souls who are weaving a web around the planet, and as you travel and share your creations, something is rethreaded. Just so you know, like, you're gonna, this is like really future. I think this is far future. I think you're gonna start off slow. What starts off as a journal turns into a book, turns into multiple books, turns into, maybe public speaking events, whatever, turns into this soul tribe, this gathering, turns into a healing, um, a ripple effect. But don't be overwhelmed by this. Just stay focused on the now and what you're doing right now. But know that great things can happen. And so you're being called to gather groups of people either by leading them or becoming part of a group. Same thing as Gloria. So maybe y'all are going to be part of the same group. So, and everybody will be supporting you and your soul's mission. You're part of a group of souls who you agreed to be here at this time in history to heal yourself, see, and your ancestral line and the planet, to raise the consciousness so that we continue to call this magnificent place home for eras to come. So you're part of this group that's meant to the raise the vibration of the planet. There you go. No small feats. I don't know if you want a starseed message. I know, a spiritual powwow. Spiritual powwow. And everybody in this great group, this great gathering, has their different gifts. Terry, you maybe you're a little bit more, like gothic, and Gloria's a little more like sunshine. I don't know. Okay, let's see what Starseed wants to talk to you. All right, the Lemurians. I like the Lemurians. This is so perfect. Creating heaven on earth. It's happening. See, yours, I got goosebumps all over. Like you're just as important. So even if you have to go dive into the shadow to get to it, you're bringing about a lot of light to the world. So the Lemurians are grateful to you, and they say thank you, and they want you to know that the Lemuria, or Mu, is one of the earth's lost lands, where heaven really was a place on earth, a time before we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. In Lemuria, life worked in harmony, all beings were seen as equal, and we were deeply reverent to Mother Earth. We knew that a mosquito was no worse than us, and the sun no better. So perhaps too you believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. Perhaps you're part of that transition. I recommend watching and definitely reading the Celestine prophecies. That's a really good one. I love that. And I feel like that's kind of like what's going to happen, like how you're going to connect with people and how to make this world a better place, similar to the Celestine prophecy. So you're part of this transition team who at a soul level are devoted to creating this kind of harmony on the planet now. So the Lemurians are saying thank you for wanting to do this work. It's easy to get overwhelmed, and I felt that. I felt your overwhelming feelings, saying, "Oh my God, I can't do that. I'm just a little girl." I used to say that to my dad. He'd be like, you have to do the score of Hansel and Gretel and sing all of Gretel," and I thought, "Oh no, 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 Daddy, no, that's too much work. I can't do that." But he was just teasing. But I was always so serious. I never could take the joke. So, anyway, yeah. So we get easily overwhelmed, by the big picture, but all you have to do is focus on the now and just keep holding that vision of the future, and it'll come closer and closer. The more you do, and you may be guided to hold the frequency of Lemuria in your own community and family and workplace or within yourself. So know that it's possible, and while at times it may feel like you're alone, you're truly not. There are hundreds of thousands who hold the codes of this ancient lost land, and even Lemuria crystals that hold the codes of remembering that are beginning to rise all over the planet. Keep doing what you are doing, and remember, the only way to heal the world around us is to first heal ourselves. And by making this book about grief is your first step for healing, and that's just perfect. So perfect. So you can say to yourself, I hold the codes of Lemuria and believe that heaven really can be a place on earth. Very powerful stuff there. Yep, healing. Exactly. That's your life path, is the healing path. And you've already started. And some of us go about it in different ways. The way you want to go about it is to dive into the grief, the shadow, and learn about that shadow, and the mirroring thing, like light and shadow, and how they play together, how light and shadow work together, how good comes out of that shadow dive. All right. What was a big fat yes for you? You're welcome. I'm glad you like that. I'm going to go get a drink, and then we will do rainbows next. I don't know. I'm live, but when I'm done, I want you to look at your portrait. Okay. Wasn't it? Okay, Rainbow. So, yes, no question for you. Maybe I need to go to the bathroom too. I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm ready. Here we go. So Rainbow, do you want to get the life path reading as well? You don't have to. You can have whatever you want. But if you want the life path reading, we could do how I did with Gloria and Terry, and Terry, and start off with your yes no question. Or we can do combo tarot and oracle reading, or whatever you like. Rainbow. Okay, you're gonna do the same kind of reading? All right, so what is your yes no question? I just pressed on some nails tonight and they're like already bothering me. I got some work done. I did some private readings and I finished my portrait. While we're waiting, let's see. See if we can wait. See my portrait. There's my portrait. It's kind of way back there. Will I ever go back to being the same person that I was before? Well, I'm gonna just tell you no. Because we're always moving and changing. There'll be some things that resemble the person that you were before, but today's yesterday's tomorrow. Like they're all one and the same, but also there's movement. Let's think about your question. So what specifically are you talking about? When you talk about being the same person that you were before, what are you saying exactly? Because there's something more to it. Is this one for your mom? Wait, maybe I'm not getting. I didn't read. you, Terry. Yeah, here's what I have. Here we go. So I have, that was an awesome reading. Um, I'll do the same reading. Will I ever go back to being the same person that I was before? And are you getting getting my messages? There's a kind of a lag. If you don't want to lag, then like refresh maybe so that way we can be a little bit more in sync with each other. I went through some trauma 7 months ago and I'm always sad and anxious now. Okay. So you're asking, will you ever be able to not feel sad or anxious? Will you ever be able to feel a sense of security or peace or calm, right? So let's see. Will there ever be a time where you can approach pregnancy without fear, right? Without trepidation, because that seems to be a natural part of you thinking of it. Let's see. And that in itself makes it difficult, right? Because if you see now as the same as yesterday, then you're creating the same reality that you had yesterday, and you keep creating the same reality, and suddenly this is the reality you create for yourself because it's the thing that's most familiar, it's the thing that you saw yesterday. But I feel like you can create your reality today by imagining what you want your reality today to be, and it doesn't have to be the same as yesterday's reality. But it's hard for us to do that because we may have great imaginations, but we don't always believe our imagination is like a fairy tale, like a story. Like it's hard to to see it and see it as fact, as truth, our this is who we are. Because it's already happened yesterday, it's easier for us to believe who we were yesterday is the same person we are today because we saw it yesterday, and that we saw it. It was there. It's tangible, it was physical, it was out there. It's what everybody reacted to. It seems like that there is no other way for me to be today than the same person I was yesterday. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But the whole question is not a question for spirit, because it's a question mostly for to help. It's like something in you that has to truly believe that you can be the person you want to be today, and it doesn't have to be the same person that you were yesterday. We're just molecules. We're very movable, these it, the way it's been described before is just really mind-boggling, and I would suggest you just really do some deep diving on time and past, present, and future stuff, and see yourself, like, see if it's easier for you to grasp the concept in a scientific way, then really do some scientific research on past, present, and future, and who we are, and that like we're just molecules. It might ease, ease the emotionality of the things that you've been through if you can see things scientifically, right? Because if we can take some of the emotion away and you see it just sort of blank and black and white and scientific and plain, then it might help us to to then, when we add the fantasy to it, when we add the spiritual to it, then we can believe in it more. We can believe in something that has some scientific proof to it, but we have trouble believing things that don't have science to it, you know? And that's why this community is special. Things like places like this are special because we're about manifesting what we want, you know? We're evolving. Even science is not the same science as it was yesterday. Science evolves too, you know? So let's just ask that question. If yes or no, are you going to get to that point where you just feel like you can be you now without fear, with confidence, with love, with peace in your heart? I think you can do it. And that's my feeling. Let's see how Spirit says. What Spirit says. Well, you have yes, but I'm going to show you. Oh, oops. This one was supposed to go here. This is yours. Okay. This is the ever unfolding rose. Cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. There's a so back to that story I was telling you about the lady who had a near-death experience. There is an interesting episode. She was talking about she seemed like she thought it was so unfair that this boy, his dad left him or whatever and didn't pay attention to him, and then she asked God, why would you do that to this kid, he didn't do anything, he is innocent, he didn't deserve to have a father abandon him or whatever. Well, that much is true. But what happened, basically God is telling her, what happened was that boy grew up to be the best father he could ever be because his own father wasn't there for him. So therefore, he broke the chain. He broke this cycle, the ancestral cycle. So certain things happen, even bad things happen that have a silver lining to them. And if you can look at things that happen to you with the silver lining, and so if you feel you're changed in a bad way, then maybe it's time to change your perspective. All right, so the ever unfolding rose is saying, the challenge of life is to keep your heart open when you most want to close it. And I think I've told you this before in readings, you know, to let life crack you open, to open through hurt and loss, to allow what is falling away to fall away. Being human is a courageous act. A life well lived is full of losses and tragedies, as much as triumphs and adventures. Wherever you find yourself at the moment, life is coaxing you to keep your heart open, no matter how much it hurts, to continually unfold, to let life crack you open. Perhaps you're going through a difficult time right now. Instead of cursing the difficulty, see it as a blessing, like I just said. I know it seems insane when we say, "Oh, you lost your baby. Look at it as a blessing." It's not a blessing, for God's sakes, but there, if you with enough space and time and perspective, you can find the light, you know, you can find the reason, you can find the new direction, you can find the hope, right? So to open yourself to the truth that perhaps, as hard as it may be, life is happening for you and not to you. And one day in the not too distant future, you may just bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open, because the world needs you open. Now is the time to go gently. Treat yourself like a tender, sweet baby. To wrap yourself in a blanket and trust that the mother has you cradled in her arms. The seas may not all be smooth sailing, but you are safe and you are held. One day, Not too far from today, you will look back at the transformation and be blown away by the poetry of life. Everything is going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Let it crack you open. So this is your answer to your question is yes. You're going to be better than you were before. You're going to have hope again, and you're going to feel blown away by the poetry of life. Okay, honey? You're going to get the good. It's coming to you in huge waves of abundance and joy and sweetness. And it's going to be better than ever before. Better than better feeling. You're going to feel secure and sure, but it's going to be more than that. It's going to feel like the most incredible miracle that's ever happened in the world of miracles. That's how it's going to feel. Okay. That one made me cry. So let's see, what should you really be asking? So what should you be asking yourself? Okay, how about that one? Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Oh, that's a good one. So let's just say this. Let's just say if you knew that everything was going to be all right, then what would you do? You would go back to that person that you used to be, that felt so chill about things, right? Because life always seemed to work out somehow. Well, that is, if you knew that the next time around you made any choice or made any decision that you were going to be supported, what would you do? You would just approach things with a very light-hearted, carefree manner or whatever. What would you do? Figure that out for yourself, right? So that is your what to ask you. Trust your path. The universe is conspiring. Keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north and take one step after another. If you do this, you can't go wrong. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. And if you follow the invisible trail of what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. Most people don't follow the highest call of their soul because they're waiting to see the end destination before they take the first step. But if you take one baby step at it, like baby, the word babies come out twice now. If you take one baby step each day, within a year, you will have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. And if you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day in dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn back and look in awe at how far you have journeyed. Keep moving and open yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. things are not going to work out the way you are planning. But if you have a little faith and keep showing up, they will work out even better than you could possibly imagine. Don't micromanage the universe. Trust your path and let your soul lead the way. So that's exactly what it is. Your past, the spirit is saying your past was okay, but your future is going to be way better than that. You're not the same person as you were. Why would you be? Why would you want to be? You're evolving through your grief, through your pain, through all the struggles and ups and downs in your life. You're becoming even more stronger, more resilient, more amazing. And when the miracles come into your life, you're going to be so full of gratitude and gratefulness and abundance that it's just going to keep blossoming from there. So, yeah, it's just going to keep getting better. That's what I keep hearing. It's going to get better and better and better and better. So, let's see what action you have to take. There we go. Oh, yeah, break the chain. Ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. That I was talking about that, in that one, the kid that didn't have the didn't have the dad, the deadbeat dad or whatever. Well, because he had that experience, he was able to rewrite his world. He could have just been sad about it or whatever, but instead he became the best dad to his kid he could possibly be, and therefore rewriting history. So that's it's kind of like, finding the the sad thing that happened, but making it work in a way that heals you and helps others too, is what your life path has to do with with what's happened already in your life. So breaking that chain. And these are also patterns that you have to break within yourself, right? You're being called to heal your family line or free yourself from living a life of your ancestors. This could mean letting go of old pattern of your maternal or paternal line, healing trauma from the past that is not even yours, or observing old ways of being that no longer serve you. We carry emotional trauma in our luminous field for up to 7 generations back, and this is why family patterns can be the hardest to break. Often they are not even ours to begin with, but we do not know another way of being, and so we continue playing out the drama. The thing to notice when ancestral healing comes up is that you cannot heal another person, but your own healing can cause another person to choose to heal. You see, that's how it works. So energy is freed up, and you're being guided now to look at your life and decide how you want it to be. What ways of being or patterns are you ready to free yourself from? And what part of your future do you want to rewrite? Now is the time to shake them off and dream of a new future into being. So that's basically what you have to do. You have to think, what old ways of being from your family line are you ready to let go of? Even if it doesn't, if you don't even know has anything to do with ancestors, um, it's, you know, maybe it could have some connection, but maybe you just don't even know it consciously, this connection. So it's suggested that you seek out your support team, your tribe, your friends, your a healer, a coach, and, you know, strengthen those bonds that you have right now, right here, right now, and find blessing in those bonds. Find blessings in those connections that you already have right now, and connect within yourself as well. I don't know. Okay, so let's see now. What is the activation? So how is this going to come about for you? All right, you have Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? So where, you know, like this is about your steps, your destination, where you are going to go from here. The activation is about where you're going to, like where your soul is going to go. I was just hearing like, okay, your question was, I went through some trauma 7 months ago and I'm always sad and anxious now. All right, but how were you before that trauma? And why can't you just be that person again? You know, it's, or why can't you just use that memory? And why can't you see yourself as even better than that person? You know, like something about the way you need to view you and view your circumstances. The trauma has passed and you can still be healing from it, but as you heal, you're also imagining yourself evolving, growing, leveling up, being a better person, being a higher spiritual person. So so the Celtic word Imrama means a journey of the soul. It's a voyage on which we don't know where we are going, but our soul knows the way. If you pull this card, you're either being called on a soul journey or you're already on one. So this could be a big, massive soul evolution journey, right? And and see, it could be something that's connected to ancestors or not, but it could be a physical, ancient place or just a metaphorical place. When we journey to places that our soul remembers, a shift takes place, both within us and to the planet as well. And you're being called to journey to a place that is sacred to your soul. Perhaps it's to journey to the world's sacred sites, or call to across the country, climb a mountain, or lie in the desert floor, or drink from an ancient well. There are places to see and old friends to meet. I see spontaneous pilgrimages in your future. If a physical voyage is impossible, journey through the portal of your heart. Follow the invisible soul trail and be willing to explore. Maybe read a book or watch a movie about a sacred time or place. Or perhaps you're being called to study an ancient lineage or body of work. Whatever your circumstances, your soul is ready to journey deep. So say this to yourself. May seeds of light long ago planted begin to rise. I'm ready to remember ancient secrets from lands that my soul knows from times past. May I be held by the ancient lineages that my soul has served and remember that I don't have to do it all alone. See, everything's going to be okay. and you don't have to do it all alone, and you have so much support, and you're just going to be even better version of yourself than you already are. Let's see if the aliens have anything to say. Starseeds. Let's look at the Kasha. The Kasha is this big amazing, it's almost like the World Wide Web. It's a big web of information that we can tap into, and all of this is being divinely guided. It may seem so wrong, so unfair, so unjust, but there is some kind of big plan to your evolution, to your soul journey, that Spirit is trying to get you to understand and tap into. And it's a place that will help not only you, your healing and your greatness, but help others as well. So the Akasha exists in the fifth dimension, and it's the library of souls. It houses all soul contracts, history, gifts, lessons, and more exist here. Something that there could be a specific soul contract you made with yourself in a past life or something, or some kind of ancestral connection that is keeping you bound to this pattern that you've been in. And it's time to break free from that. And maybe you can use this access to the Akashic records to help you break free from it. So we each have access to this information of the past, present, and future. And that's what I was just telling you, that you need to do a deep dive of past, present, and future. You can do it by visiting any information about Akasha records. And while we have free will, there's also points on the timeline of our lives. This is so like perfect for what you just asked, that are predestined or pre-planned. Soul contracts or agreements that were made before incarnating. And it could be a company you choose to work for, a relationship you plan to have, or a person you agree to mentor or help. Whatever it is, know that it is divinely guided and will not bypass you. If you're waiting for a sign to proceed, this card is it. You're likely living out an important part of your soul's journey, and you're exactly where you need to be. This is a very exciting indeed. It's time to call in the support of your helpers, both in the physical realm and the spiritual world. To trust the signs that are coming. Take note of your dreams. To notice any feelings or visions that you receive, for you are tapping into the wisdom of the Akasha, and you're being given the go ahead to proceed. Okay, so the Kasha wisdom is saying, yes, follow your feelings, follow your heart. I open myself up to receive the wisdom of the Akasha. I'm ready to download any information from my soul records that is in my highest good and the highest good of all right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So don't forget to always have an attitude of gratitude, even in a world that's been difficult and full of trauma. There's still so many things that we can be grateful for. So be grateful for them and be sure to count your blessings. Okay. Your reading almost sounds like this might be a past life thing. Yeah, it feels kind of like that, doesn't it? Feels like something that she has to heal from, some kind of atonement or healing from either past life or some ancestral lineage. I don't believe in curses, but it could be some kind of something like that, where it's tied into a negative pattern or something. Yeah, you can't go back because you're changed. And that's it. Yes, Terry. Wishing you could go back, it is keeping you from moving forward, right? So wishing she could go back to that person also, like, you don't want to imagine being that particular person because that person doesn't exist anymore. That person is a memory. So you see yourself in the present or future as a more enlightened, more amazing person. And that's Poe's meowing. What does he want? Poe! Well, I hope she gets to finish watching it. All right. So Esmeralda's next. Is Esmeralda still there? Esmeralda, you can have, what you can do, Esmeralda, is have a Moonology reading, or you can choose any of the suits. So you can choose from the Starseed suit, from the activation suit, the action suit, the inquiry suit, or the yes/no question. Or Moonology. Hey! Any of them? All right, let's do a Moonology reading for you. And if you can think of a yes/no question, then we can do that too if you want to. Could I get the numerology? I think you had mentioned something about that. Numerology? Or Moonology? You're welcome, honey. I don't remember what I said. Did I say numerology? Well, here, I'll do one Moonology for you, Rainbow, and one for Esmeralda. Let's see what comes out for the moon, for the full moon tonight. Any messages from the full moon? Ooh, this is a good one. So this is for you, Rainbow. You're very close to achieving your goal. I know there's a part of you that still holds hope, and you hate not to feel like that very innocent girl. And even though you're not that innocent girl anymore, it's okay. You're mature, you're worldly, but you can still be hopeful. You can still have hope. All right? And the very next one is your hard work is paying off. So I feel like good things are happening. Lots of good ones coming up. Okay, so now let's do... You're welcome. Now let's do Esmeralda's Moonology. Let's get a little sage. All right, nice. You have, this is good. Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. And you also have luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. Very nice. So I feel like whenever you're making decisions, go boldly into it with lots of confidence because luck is going to be on your side. It's not going to be like one of those situations where your confidence is going to make you trip, right? Nope, your confidence is going to open doors for you this time. Sometimes sometimes you're in a situation where just unlucky things happen, but this time luck is on your side. All right. Let's get a what do you want? You want to let's get a yes or no. Do you have a yes or no question? Esmeralda. All right, you know what I'm going to do? This is your yes or no question. I've done a yes or no question for everyone, and each one was different, and this one is also one that we haven't done yet, and this is called You're Already Doing It. Stop overthinking, face your true north. So this is for you and for the collective. The answer is yes. Like that, yes. But this or that, yes, where it has to be something that unfolds naturally and slowly. Or it could be a yes, but no, not right now, but maybe later. Or it could be this one. You're already doing it. So do not question things too much. You are on the right track. You're facing the right way. Stop overthinking it. It's happening. And you are closer than you think. You are exactly where you need to be, and things are moving at the perfect speed. Don't rush it. Now is not the time to be impatient. Now is the time to walk steadily. There's no rush. What you are building is being built. What you have planted soon will blossom. With every new day, a new brick is being laid. You have come a long way. The foundations are steady. Now all that is needed is for you to trust and keep walking forward. And if a thought that things should be moving faster enters your mind, that's just your ego comparing your rising to someone else. Comparison is not your friend. Stay in your lane, water your own garden, knowing that your time to bloom will come soon. You are already doing it, so keep going. I think that's good for everybody. Oh, that's a good place to end, you guys. Thank you for tonight. Everybody's on the right track. We all have weird paths that we're taking, but we're all doing it. You're beautiful souls, and I so appreciate you guys in my life. You just don't know how much. And thank you for being so supportive of me and my channel and always being here for me, you guys. Really appreciate it so much. And so I don't know if I'm not gonna see you Friday because I'm going to a wedding, so hence the nails. And I don't know, I might change it to a different, I bought two different kinds of nails. I might try the other ones, but it might match my dress. Anyway, so I'm excited. I'm gonna be going out and about. And I probably won't do a Saturday morning. I don't know when I'll see you again. Probably not until Tuesday again. And I don't think tomorrow or Thursday I'll have any time because I'm trying to get the house cleaned up for visitors and stuff. So I'll see you again next week. But you're definitely welcome to reach out to me. And as members, I know some of you have already gotten your readings, but if I haven't, then you can reach out for readings. But even if you want to reach out to me just to say hi, email me, whatever, like I'd be happy to hang out and chat with you. Also, check out my Instagram if you just want to see what I'm up to and things like that. you can see I went to a biker rally, which was really fun. It was so nice. It was a really random, pretty day. They were calling for like massive rain, and I didn't even know that the weather was supposed to be bad. And I went out, and it was such a pretty day, and I got to put my toes in the water, and it was just so nice. Anyway, so stuff like that, we can always stay in touch through social media. Check me out on, sometimes you'll see me on TikTok, but mostly you'll see me on Instagram. When I'm not doing readings and stuff, you'll see my social life. And I'll post pictures from the wedding if I get any good ones, so you can see how that goes on Friday if you want to. All right, everybody. Yep, sweet dreams. Yeah, sweet dreams. Love you. Faith, trust, and pixie dust.